This is basically, although we bring Mojo and spirit forms in, which may make it sound kind of whifty, that's only because we're adding to the scientific lexicon of this planet. That's all that's happening. Other than that, we've increased the scientific scope of this planet. This is a scientific model. We come from the point of view of we don't know everything, but we want to. And so we are voracious about trying to learn everything, but we are humble in that we don't know it yet. But that humbleness makes us proud compared to other people, because I know I don't know everything, and I want to know more. Anyone who thinks they know everything doesn't know shit. So that's the first kind of premise, is that mystery is a good thing. Not that you would stay in the dark. It's something to do. It's something for humans to do. Get smarter. I like that idea. There's always something to learn and keep going. So that's important to even learn this theory. Other things are more like principles, like do you believe that humans could know everything, or do you believe that there's a God that's out there? I don't believe that. That's important. I believe that it's an expanding universe of mystery, of which, as far as we can tell, we're the top thing going energetically. I don't know anything else to prove that wrong. But like Sergei Dawkins would say, or any other atheist, I don't believe I'm being an atheist, because atheist is like not believing in God. I believe in something. I believe in the beauty of evolution of energy. But there is the fact that we are the highest as far as we know. We have to accept that responsibility. That may be an awesome responsibility, but that is the case. There's also the case that we may never know what it is, that we may go for eons just trying to figure it, and after we figure out what happened before the Big Bang, it's just some more shit we gotta figure out, but yay! That should be a good thing. If you don't have that kind of personality, you're not gonna like this theory. This means that when you interact with other humans, that I believe we all came from the same universe, and that's kind of scope. So before you start talking about nationalities or genders or sexual orientations, I'm coming from like, we're all star seeds. So that's important. We're coming from, we all evolved from here, we don't know what's going on, but we'd like to, and we're built to do a better job at it than anything else we know. Next, anyone we meet out here, we're all in it together. So that's a going premise. That zooms down to Earth. Obviously, if I feel the way about the cosmos, I certainly feel that way about everyone on this planet. We're all humans. That's the first thing. You're human, I'm a human, and then we'll go from there. Of course, I mean, you being a man or woman, different mojo, different moods, ages, careers, that affects things, and I want to know that because I find people interesting. But I start with, we're humans and we're in it together. In what? In the infinite mystery, in the cosmos, in Gaia. And tribe of humanity. Yes, check the DNA, boys and girls. We're all in this together. So that's important to understand, is this has a very evolutionary aspect to it, evolutionary science, so you have to be cool with that, otherwise this will probably pain you in your psyche. But as far as I know, this stacks up to scrutiny. That's a very important concept as well, is that humans are designed like deer, like wolves, like every other thing out there that was designed and has survived this long, to do it very well, to be productive and actually have a good time doing it. There's very few creatures that are designed to actually be miserable. I can't think of hardly any really evolved like that. They are designed to actually do extremely well, even against adverse odds. But they're designed to be incredibly successful, even against impingement. So humans are heroes. That's how they're built to be, and we have to figure out why a person is not acting like a hero. That doesn't mean if they're acting like a villain and sitting really rough that you don't drop them like, a bad habit. That happens sometimes. But the premise is humans are built to be heroes. Humans aren't built to be sinners or anything else that's like that. That's just stupid. You heard me say that. That's fucking stupid. If that makes you flinch, just stop here at the okay. But if you think that's cool, great, you're gonna love it in here. Come on in, the water's warm and cool. First is that you have to understand that you are spirit form. So myself right now, I'm Thomas, I'm talking to you. I'm speaking to you now, and I'm only a very small part of my psyche, and I have to recognize that. In fact, if I want to be like a big cheese as an apparatus, as thinking of myself, I actually have to recognize what my position is. In fact, I'm much more powerful the more I recognize what my actual position is. And my position is to try to get my psyche's beautiful unflowering, its beautiful flow, its art, it to come out. That's my job. And the more I make that happen, the more powerful I get. The more I try to do my own thing, the weaker I get. Next, I'm aware of myself. I'm also aware that when I'm talking to you, I'm talking different than I would talk to maybe different people I've known in my life, maybe different than Mojo or a stranger who come to the door. Those are variations of me, and that awareness of the variations is Mah'zute. So it's me, but it's a suit that I'm wearing to make myself more presentable and more successful. The unconscious is basically filled with things that are too something for you to handle. With the Dar'yu, it's usually too unpleasant. So stuff that's too unpleasant, the Dar'yu takes care of. And it's sort of near the surface. That's what we call the subconscious, not the unconscious, because unfortunately the unpleasant stuff usually is very insistent, and although it's not the main thing your psyche is built to do, it is insistent about its agenda of unpleasant things that you have taken care of. That's all the genius of yourself that you don't have consciously, that is designed to work with you, although it will seem very foreign at first. This has a lot to do with like your inner muse, your inspiration. That's basically the spirit form within yourself that lets you know that all that's going on here actually is one thing. You see yourself as the apparatus, and you see the whole story. You recognize, oh, I'm this person, and running around the story, and it all makes sense. So you can't stay the Fumash for very long, but when you're in that state, you can actually see, it's kind of like you're coming out of your own video game and realizing the video game that is you, your heroic game. And then when you come back in, you can play it much better because you kind of looked at the source code. That would be the source code. Once you go into the shiny baby, you don't really talk, dialogue or interact in that way with it. You sort of enter the womb. You return to yourself. You can keep going into that womb, and deeper than just the womb of your own self is that of your whole tribe, your whole evolution, where you came from, and then all the way out to the planet and cosmos, etc., etc. That is learning about the basic way that humans' psyches are wired, how the mechanics of them work for all humans, and the variables that make them different. Human design, we focus mainly on the 4 conscious powers. There are 8 powers. The Peak Pathways brings in how all 8 powers work. Part of the process is conscious and part of it is unconscious, and so you kind of have to learn the art of combining your conscious and unconscious powers together, which they're designed to do, but it's maybe something that you've not really done very knowingly or very committedly before in the past. But once you try, you were built to do it, so you'll pick it up real fast. You're a natural at it. It's basically the study of how the signals that the powers a human has, a given Mojo has, how it affects the room, and how it makes sort of like a soup of energy. So right now, Nisha is giving off energy, I'm giving off energy, and so it's making a soup. But this camera being on, even though it's not a person, it does represent you viewers, and so that actually adds an element to this room. So does, in fact, that outside, although we're sort of secluded, if we were to be too loud, people probably could hear us. It is an apartment complex, so that also affects the alchemy, and so that's why I'm talking the way I do, that's why I'm holding myself the way I am. So it's all part of the soup that's affecting your powers, and so once you do that math, you kind of like, you're in the matrix and you know what the code is and how it all works. Once you understand the social alchemy motifs, you can add all of them up, all the various algorithms of the social alchemies, and you basically have humans. Everything you see, every person on TV, every relationship you see will basically be all in the human matrix because it's all one evolved intelligence. So for example, right now, if humans were to if you're thinking about us as characters, there's like thousands of human characters, millions and gazillions, they're all unique really, but even in the more mathematical riffs, you still have a multitude of them. If you were to actually have a loss of like almost all humans and only had like 10 or 15 of them left, and they were to mate and repopulate the world, you would get all of it back again, because all humans come with the operating system, because you only know what to do with your character because you have kind of the whole Grand Theft Auto game going on there. You may not know that, but all humans actually do. They actually have the human game in their head. Once you realize this is true, you can basically see it. Once you realize that every human you're looking at is a character in a sort of a role-playing game, as it were. There's a math to it, and you can recognize what character they are, how they're playing it, what their development is, what powers they are, etc., etc., and you'll never look at anything the same way ever again. The 5 gears of Mojo reading are based on physiological cues that can be notated in a forensic fashion, and that's what we're doing right now. I've been working my whole life to get to this point, so we're now going to be gathering the evidence with your all help, and we're going to be rocking the world's world. So that sounds fun. Jump on board.